Listen to me, Blake Lively. Tap out. Tap out. Call Uncle right now. Please take my advice. Narrator, she did not listen. She did not take my advice at all. I said that having read through Blake Lively's complaints, that it was evident to me that she was likely under the influence when she filed her complaint. Not under the influence of drugs, not under the influence of alcohol, but of the influence of proximity to Taylor Swift. Maybe one Eras tour too many had been attended by her and Ryan, and they were just feeling like they were Taylor Swift. I just recognized her brand of feminism, and I called that name. I said that before we even knew that Taylor Swift was somehow involved in this entire debacle, okay?
Blake Lively, Hollywood's golden girl, the glam goddess of red carpets and lifestyle blogs, the woman who once embodied the perfect blend of elegance, wit, and mystery. But what if all of that, every curated smile, every pastel-filtered post, was a lie? What if Blake Lively wasn't the beloved starlet we thought we knew, but rather, the carefully engineered product of a multi-million-dollar Hollywood cover-up? What if the same industry that parades virtue and morality has been actively protecting a predator in pearls? Keep watching till the end to find out. Everything exploded when conservative firebrand Candace Owens, never one to mince words, pointed a trembling finger straight at Blake Lively's seemingly untouchable legacy, and did it live, on air, with a chilling promise, "I have the receipts. And America deserves to know."
It's essentially a request for documents that could indeed be extremely relevant to the case. And they're saying, we only want this to be shared between the attorneys, not even with the parties to the suit. So that means, Brian Friedman can see it, their lawyers can see it, but we're talking like not even Melissa Nathan or Justin Baldoni could see it, because it might be very damaging to third parties. So to give you an example, if Brian Friedman subpoenas Taylor Swift's text messages, wink, wink, that's what I want to see, and it reveals that actually Taylor Swift was LOLing with Blake Lively about being a dragon. She was like, yeah, I'm a dragon. Rawr. And she was like plotting the takeover of the movie because she's bored and it's Tuesday and Joe Alwyn isn't responding to her text messages anymore and she's already finished her album. Well, Blake Lively's team is essentially requesting the right for their attorney to just designate that AEO, attorney eyes only, because that might unfairly harm the reputation of Taylor Swift. If the judge actually grants that kind of a protection order, the attorneys would become the judge of what exactly could be designated AEO.
At first, the internet did what it always does. It laughed, mocked, and brushed it off as another overblown call-out from a controversial voice. But the tone shifted when Owens hinted at a web of NDAs, secret legal settlements, and behind-the-scenes horror stories that allegedly date back to Lively's Gossip Girl days. Owens wasn't just throwing shade, she came armed with accusations that could raise a career. And she didn't stop there. She accused the New York Times of running interference for Lively. She tied in Taylor Swift. She even claimed that the studio system had created a feminist facade so meticulously polished that it blinded fans and insiders alike. Her claim? That Lively's girl-next-door image was a brand, not a personality, a mask worn to hide something much darker underneath.
The proposed PO differs from this court's model PO primarily by adding the following: an attorney's eyes only category, which applies to confidential discovery material of such highly confidential and personal, sensitive, or proprietary nature that the revelation of such is likely to cause a competitive, business, commercial, financial, personal, or privacy injury. Specific examples of categories of discovery material that may qualify as confidential or AEO discovery information in a case of this nature, including, for example, previously non-disclosed information unique to the entertainment industry, such as, for example, creative ideas or client relationships, or information of a personal or intimate nature in a case involving high-profile individuals and allegations of sexual harassment. Okay, so that's what they were alleging.
And suddenly, silence. Not just from Blake, from Hollywood. The kind of eerie, dead air that usually follows something real. No public statements, no Instagram clarifications, not even a tired PR denial. Not from Lively, not from her famously outspoken husband Ryan Reynolds, not from her A-list friends, not from anyone. Isn't that odd? Normally when a beloved celebrity comes under fire, the support rolls in fast. Tweets from castmates, tearful TikToks, long-winded captions defending character and intent. But this time, crickets. Candace Owens has teased that she's holding documents, court records, settlement papers, even alleged bank transfers that point to explosive incidents buried under stacks of legal threats. The juiciest bit? A rumored 2010 settlement involving a Gossip Girl crew member tied to a workplace dispute. She claims former staffers were silenced with NDAs, and that one co-star was even paid off after an unspecified incident. One that, if exposed, could shift public perception permanently.
That Perez Hilton, who has been covering this extensively, has a conflict of interest because apparently he was a client to Brian Friedman. But there's a little bit of dirt thrown on me here because I'm the only other person that gets mentioned, and I want to be clear. They said at least one of whom just so happens. So they're like kind of trying to signal like, oh, but Candace could be too. So let me clarify. I have never spoken to Brian Friedman in my life. And it hurts me deeply. As I said to you guys, like he and I are connected in the stars or something. Like, you know, he might be my brother from another mother. I've never spoken to Justin Baldoni. He's literally my cousin. Okay, so we're talking about a family that's been torn apart. We've never even met each other. We're a long lost family. So don't you try to put this little, ooh, maybe even other people, because then they mention me. And I'm not sure what argument they're making, because I'm not sure what argument they're ever making, because their entire lawsuit is just filled with contradictions. But they use my tweet and they say, late last night, which was what I said, I tweeted this, late last night while we all slept, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds filed a protective order. The guilty as sin couple is asking a judge to protect from the public some confidential documents and names that will be gathered in the discovery process. And then after they put my tweet, they write, predictably, the media outlets picked up the same narrative. Okay, yeah, but that's what you did. Like, what am I guilty of here?
And then there's the now infamous feud with Justin Baldoni, a legal battle that's become a saga in itself. Owens sides firmly with Baldoni, calling him the unlikely victim in a case that's morphed from private dispute to public spectacle. Her words? Blake Lively has to pay for what she did. It's harsh. It's speculative. And it's landed like a grenade. And while this unfolds like a deleted scene from Scandal, the plot thickens. Reports surfaced that a media monitoring company named Terrakeet may have been involved in shaping and manipulating online press coverage for Lively. The name was mysteriously mentioned in a New York Times article but is nowhere to be found in official court documents. Where did that intel come from? Owens says it came straight from Blake's side, a quiet attempt to rewrite the narrative. And yet, the louder Owens shouted, the more Blake's team seemed to erase. Posts vanished from Lively's Instagram. Entire comment threads deleted. Rumors began circulating that people's accounts were mysteriously auto-following Blake and Ryan's pages without their knowledge, a glitch? Or a sneaky digital play to boost optics?
In the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni universe, and that can be true. You know, the entertainment industry is not a monolith. The political world is not a monolith. It's not agree with all the left-leaning ideas or agree with all the right-leaning. You can be a free speech absolutist who wants universal health care. The Bernie Sanders to Trump pipeline is real, no matter what people want to say. That is a path a lot of people took that want an anti-established person, and that's why Candace Owens is popular. There's been a lot of people on the left that have agreed with Candace Owens here. There has been a fear and possibly a shame by a lot of people that she is going to switch their opinions. Like all of a sudden, just because you agree with Candace Owens.
Meanwhile, Owens' own Instagram page suddenly disappeared. Just like that, poof. Gone. No explanation. No warning. Critics believe legal threats were involved. Some say Blake's team is now in full-blown damage control, wiping anything that could be used as evidence. But maybe the most telling sign came during the promo tour for Blake's upcoming film Another Simple Favor. What should have been a moment of triumph turned into a cringe-inducing spiral. The trailer was released. And the trolls pounced. The studio had to disable comments. Her red carpet appearance? Awkward. Stiff. Defensive. Fans noticed she looked different. Not glamorous. Nervous. And Ryan, the usually charming, self-deprecating jokester, also silent. Except for one moment. A line he reportedly wrote into the movie script that many believe was a veiled jab at the entire controversy, a wink to insiders, and a slap in the face to the rest of us.
Because people are just not going to watch a movie with Blake Lively in it. And the rumors were that she felt that Blake Lively didn't do anything to dispel that. She didn't come out and make a statement. She didn't come out, with her heart in her hand or say anything. She just kind of allowed this movie to be like an innocent bystander to everything that went on with It Ends With Us. It Ends With Us, pardon. So leading up to this red carpet, all eyes were kind of on Blake. People were wondering if she was going to bring Ryan. I said, definitely not. That's not going to happen. Obviously, she's adjusting and she's realizing what a bad decision SNL was. People don't like Ryan Reynolds, especially. So she did show up alone. And when Anna Kendrick was asked about Blake Lively on the red carpet, she was a bit pithy, and I would say maybe trying to be funny, but definitely made a statement when she was asked about working with Blake. Take a listen.
Anna, what does it mean to be working with Blake again?
Oh, talking about you.
The backlash didn't stop there. Viral videos resurfaced of celebrities dragging Ryan Reynolds, painting him as arrogant and cold on set. Even Anna Kendrick, when asked about Blake on the carpet, gave an answer so awkward, it seemed scripted by a publicist having a breakdown. And now, the legal stakes are rising. Lively's team is reportedly considering a defamation suit against Owens. But here's the risk: filing such a lawsuit would require opening up discovery, which could mean handing over texts, emails, and personal files that she may not want anyone to see, including those allegedly involving Taylor Swift. Yes, Taylor. Owens claims Blake's team is fighting to keep specific text messages between Lively and Swift under wraps, labeled as attorney eyes only in a protective order request. If true, it's an unprecedented attempt to keep one of the world's most famous pop stars off the record in what could be a massive Hollywood scandal.
I always say a broken clock is right twice a day, but I'm not here to call Candace Owens a broken clock. She is sort of like anti-establishment. She's really hard to lock down because she, might be pro a stance that you're against and vice versa.
Candace Owens exposes the New York Times and Blake Lively. At this point, Justin Baldoni should just hire Candace onto his legal team.
And as this storm continues to rage, only one question remains. Is Candace Owens telling the truth? Here's what we know. Owens is controversial. She polarizes. She provokes. But she also doesn't usually shoot without some kind of ammunition. She says she has proof. She says she's ready to release it. And so far, her predictions about this lawsuit, and the way it's unfolded, have been uncannily accurate. If she drops the documents, it could mean the collapse of Blake Lively's career, the total dismantling of a decade-long brand built on elegance, privacy, and poise. But if she doesn't, then this will go down as another cautionary tale in the age of internet hysteria, where accusations move faster than facts and reputations hang by a thread.
We're kind of used to seeing, and pardon my language here, but we're very used to seeing like a bitchy Blake, right? She's very unkind to reporters, and genuinely I think that there's just a lack of a better word there. She seems to hate the press junkets over the years. She barely seems to enjoy her fans. She kind of thinks that she's above her fans, thinks she's above the press, and is just always rude, right? But throughout these last two public appearances, since everything has kind of been falling apart for her and Ryan, she does seem, and I will agree, admittedly very uncomfortable. And I said that immediately when she was on the red carpet with Ryan. He didn't, obviously, because he is, I think, just a narcissist to his core. But, they chose to walk the red carpet, and he was kind of pointing at her and wanting the cameras to capture him and her. And then he notoriously, now we know, wrote another line into that script to sort of mock the circumstances of everything that was going on. But when you zoomed in on her face in that moment and you saw Kevin Costner kind of looking down in that SNL moment, she doesn't look comfortable. She doesn't. She looks anxious. She looks like she doesn't really want to be out in public when she knows that the public does not like her.
What happens in the third one? No, I'm joking. Capri and Rome, honestly. So Paul, we really wanted to make this second movie, and I was like, Paul, he wanted to shoot in Capri, and I was like, that sounds amazing, but it's very expensive, and let's just, shoot in Connecticut. That's where the first one took place. I didn't understand why it needed to be Capri, and now I want to live there. I love it so much. They serve you ice cream and lemons, and it's just magical, and they sell hats. That crazy, beautiful hat was just a hat in a store. Humans buy that.
And I'll also add to that she's definitely rambling, and you can sense she's uncomfortable and a lot of hand movements. But I'll also add that even when you see her walking the red carpet, she's suddenly very nice to fans. It's a totally different Blake Lively, and she just seems so grateful for every fan that's coming up to her and asking for a picture and a hug.
So, back to the question, is Blake Lively the Hollywood sweetheart we all thought she was? Or the villain hiding in plain sight? For now, all we have are rumors, red carpets, and radio silence. But when silence gets this loud, something's about to break. Stay tuned.